Well, as you can see, this again is my TT33 Tokarev, and what I'm going to show you all today, since I haven't really seen it on YouTube all that well and clearly with descriptions, is taking it apart and putting it back together. I cleaned it a few minutes ago from when me and Wesley shot it just a little while ago, but what I'm going to do is just show everybody else how to take it apart. So what I'll do, drop the magazine, set it over here out of the way, nothing in the chamber. I'll put the hammer back down. Make sure when you put the hammer back down, you're holding it with your thumb. Don't want to break the firing pin in there. The first step now is this right here is kind of like an oddly shaped cotter pin. It holds all these right here together. This is the other side of the safety right here, and this is the slide lock or slide release for when it locks back. So what I've seen some people do is take screwdrivers, or they'll take the end of the magazine and pull on it. I don't want to do that because I don't want to mar the finish. So what I've got is a wooden dowel rod, and if you look closely at the very end of it, it's pulled up on the end. So I'll take this wooden dowel rod and push it back. You can see it's clear of the first one. Now it's clear of the second one. And you just put it down like that. And now what I'll do is I'll take my hand and I'll cup it over this safety right here, and I'll show you why in just a second. And I'll just push it down and just use the dowel rod to push it all the way through. Lay this down. That little pin right there is why I cut my hand. And if you look closely, I don't know if the video can see it, inside that little hole right there is a spring that this pin sits down on. Both of those can come out, and when you move it out, if your hand's not cupping it, that thing will go flying across the room. Definitely don't want that to happen. So I'll set all that right there. Now I will push this out, which I said was the other side of this. You can take some of the tension off of the slide, and it just pops out, and then the slide is free. Yeah, there we go. And the slide slides forward, and you can see there's a spring in there. I hold that spring so it doesn't fly, and you just slide the slide off of its rails. And I'll set the lower down here, and I will take and pull the spring out, which it'll do on its own almost. And there we go, that's free. Then you take the end of the slide and barrel here, take that, rotate it around, and pull it off. And you take that right there and push it down. And once it's pushed down, there we go, it'll slide through there, and now the barrel's free, and now you're just left with the slide. And with the lower, all you really have to do is just pull the hammer assembly off. And that's the basic way to take it apart if you need to clean it. And to put it back together, of course, you just do it the opposite way. Take that, and I'll put it back in the lower, leave it just like that. And I'll take my barrel and slide it back into the slide. Flip that little tab back up. Junk. Take and put that there back on. Rotate it back around so that it's even with the bottom of the slide. Now comes the really fun part. Getting the spring to go back in there and stay. It does not like to do that. You might not be able to see it too well because my hands will be in the way, but I'll take it, move that lower out of my way here, and push it down through in there. And you can see that my little thing fell back down, so I'll do that with it so it pokes back in. You can see that spring does not like to stay, but we'll get it back in there. Thought I had it, not quite. There we go, that's got it. I believe, yep, that's got it. So now I'll hold that spring so because it doesn't, so I won't let it fly out again, and slide the slide. I'll just hold that so it's level. Slide the slide back on its rails, and it's in there. Then what I'll do is I'll hook my finger right here and push on the front of the slide like this to get my slide lock to go back in there. If you look right down in there, I don't know if you can see it too well, but right down through there, it has to line up just right, the slide does, to get your lock to go back in there like that. And of course it goes through like that. So that's in there. Then the other fun part to it, if you look real close at this knob right here, that end of it is pointed where this end is flat. Not sure if it's real hard to see the difference. The flat end goes in the hole right here. It goes right in there. So the pointed end sticks out. So I set that in there. You can see the pointed end's out. And turn it like this. Put the round end in the round hole. The little knob needs to fit in one of those detents that's cut into the side of here, one of the slide or the safety positions. So it slides in. You have to put some pressure on it to get it to go in. You have to put some pressure on the little knob in there. So I take a screwdriver and slide it in there and press that knob in until it fits in the hole. Now, safety's in. So make sure that stays in there, don't let it pop out. Lay it just like this. And I'll take my little pins here, lay them flush with the frame of the gun. If you look closely, the safety part here has a little notch that's cut. The pin slides under the notch, under both of these, and I'll get my dowel rod to finish off the last one. The last one's the tightest. And it's back together, and that pin holds in the slide lock or slide release, and it holds in the safety. So it's back together. I'll put it in my magazine here. That's it. That's how you take apart and put back together a Tokarev.